Welcome to your Upper Campus Tour Review. This video will be full of helpful hints and directions that will assist you in giving a great tour. The first thing you're going to do is board the bus on the Linton side of Alumni Hall and introduce yourself. You will do this as the bus begins moving. Include information like your name, year, major, hometown, and some activities that you're involved in, besides Pathfinders, of course. After you introduce yourself, you'll want to introduce your bus driver and stress the importance of taking a lower campus tour. You can then briefly explain that you are driving up the hill to Upper Campus and that this area is continuously being expanded. After doing that, you can fill the ride up the hill with a variety of things that you will be seeing. Start with talking about Bigelow Boulevard, the events, and the types of transportation that occur there. This will lead you into talking about Pitt Shuttles and Safe Rider. You want to make sure to mention that the Pitt Shuttles travel to Upper Campus and that Safe Rider travels to lots of areas, including Shenley Farms, which you will be passing. This is a historic neighborhood found in North Oakland that is very close to campus. This then provides a good segue into talking about housing options for Pitt students both on and off campus, as well as the Office of Off-Campus Living. At this point, you can talk about Shenley High School, mentioning that it was the first public school building to cost over $1 million to build and produce notable alumni such as DeJuan Blair. However, it closed in 2011 following its last graduating class, but was recently used as a filming site for the movie Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl. Following this, you can transition into talking about Squirrel Hill and Shadyside by mentioning that other movies have been filmed in these areas. You'll want to describe the main streets in each neighborhood, Ellsworth Avenue, Walnut Street, and Murray Avenue, as well as their attractions. These neighborhoods will help you be prepared for traffic by providing a useful time to throw in some personal stories as fillers. The last thing you'll want to point out on the drive up is the beautiful view that Upper Campus affords of Lower Campus. This is also a good time to mention the difference between the upper and lower campuses, and that Upper Campus is by no means separate. In fact, it is only about a 5 to 7 minute shuttle ride or a 10-minute walk from Lower Campus. After this, there is a little bit of downtime, so feel free to point out buildings that you pass such as Panther Hall, Pennsylvania Hall, and Sutherland Hall. However, avoid explaining them in depth as you don't want to run out of things to say during the actual tour. Something not on your tour script that you can use to help fill time is the VA hospital, which is the only non-UPMC affiliated hospital on campus. You may describe the benefits of having it and how we utilize it here at the university. As your driver pulls up to the Peterson Sports Complex, inform your families that they should grab all of their personal belongings because you will be getting off of the bus and walking the rest of the way back to Lower Campus. Also, as you exit, please make sure to thank your bus driver.
Start by pointing out the baseball, softball, and soccer fields. You also need to mention some additional facts such as the capacity of the fields or even tell a personal story. This is also a really great time to point out downtown Pittsburgh. A lot of people will use the UPMC sign on the side of the U.S. Steel Tower as a point of reference. Mention the career and internship opportunities as well as our local sports teams, such as Pittsburgh Penguins, and explain student rush tickets for hockey games. Also, reference the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Pittsburgh Steelers, but avoid going into too much detail about the Steelers because you can elaborate on football when talking about the old Pitt Stadium.
You can transition from the Peterson Sports Complex to the Koss Center by explaining that it is another athletic facility that many students and student athletes choose to use. The Koss Center is located on top of the hill, and there are both indoor and outdoor practice fields for many Pitt sports teams. Mention that the Koss Center is home to the Pitt Band, as well as being the former home of PDM, the Pitt Dance Marathon. As you walk towards Trace Hall, you could elaborate on the various athletic opportunities that the university offers. Explain Division I sports as well as with club and intramural sports. Also, give some examples of sports found at all 3 levels and even throw in a personal story if you have one.
A great way to flow from athletics to Trees Hall is to explain that Trees is a multi-purpose recreation facility that houses a variety of athletic amenities. You have to name 6, so a great way to remember them is to connect them to a figure in pop culture. For example, you can go to the archery range and be Katniss Everdeen. One of the most important amenities is Trees Pool, which holds 770,000 gallons of water. As you round Trees Hall, point out Fitzgerald Fieldhouse, which is now home to wrestling, volleyball, and gymnastics. It is also home to Greek Sing, which provides a good segue into talking about Greek life on campus.
Elaborate on Greek sing and then discuss Greek life in greater detail, specifically how there are different types such as service fraternities, business fraternities, social sororities and fraternities, and professional fraternities. You may also discuss that the fraternity houses, which are known as Fraternity Row, are located on upper campus next to Sutherland's Hall, which then leads you into another great transition where you can talk about some other upper campus living options, namely Sutherland's Hall, which is the only freshman residence hall located on upper campus.
Before walking into Sutherland, it is a good idea to explain that Sutherland is divided into two wings, East, which houses athletes, and West, which is home to Honors College housing. It will also be helpful to your family if you distinguish between the two. Once entering the residence hall, you can then talk about the many amenities that are found in the lobby which connects both wings. For example, mention easy access to computer lab, coffee cart, mail facility, elaborate on the meal plan and dining facilities, and add in other cool features. After talking about the amenities in the common area, head into the East Wing to show the tour room. Be sure to explain the sign-in procedure and the great safety procedures that are followed in each of the residence halls. In the tour room, explain features such as what suite style means, climate control, fire safety, Wi-Fi, and Ethernet accessibility, as well as microfridge options and other items included in the tour script. A main goal while in this room is to clearly distinguish between the differences from a traditional tower's double room. Upon exiting the room, explain resident assistants and resident directors, as well as the special lounges and unique setup of having co-ed floors, but specify that suites in which students live in are only single sex. When exiting, if you have not already pointed out the workout facility and laundry area in the basement, make sure to do so. Be sure to sign out, exit the building, and then begin to talk about the two other upperclassmen residence halls located on upper campus.
A good way to start talking about Panther and Pennsylvania halls is to mention that they are essentially the upperclassmen versions of Sutherland's Hall. This will also help you remember the facilities found in both halls, seeing that they are the same as Sutherland. You will also need to give statistics about both residence halls. A great way to separate the two is to remember that the numbers that go with Panther Hall are even, while the numbers that go with Pennsylvania Hall are odd. You can wrap up talking about Panther in Pennsylvania as you head down the stairs. If you look to the right, you will have a clear view of some of the amenities in Panther Hall, which is a great visual cue if you are struggling with remembering them. The stairs also overlook the site of the old Pitt Stadium, which provides a good transition.
You will start this section at the base of the stairs beside Panther Hall. Keep in mind that the walk is long, so personal stories can be great fillers. Start by talking about the old Pitt Stadium, which then provides a great opportunity to describe the football program and games at Heinz Field. As you near the Peterson Event Center, begin talking about the different events and amenities found in the building. Mention our men's and women's basketball teams, explain how tickets for basketball games work on a lottery system, and our student section, the Oakland Zoo. Enter through Concourse B and head down the first escalator. Now would be an appropriate time to elaborate on our activities and career fairs before turning right and reaching Barrow Recreation Fitness Center. Take your family just inside the doors and tell them about one-credit fitness classes, the various other amenities in the gym, and stress that this fitness facility is both the largest on campus and available to students only. As you exit the gym, head towards the second escalator and point out the food court to the right and tell your family that dining dollars may be used here. Once again, the ride down can be long, so be prepared to use fillers like saying that the food court is your favorite court in the facility. At the bottom of the escalator, point out the team store, the McCarl Hall champions, and the only black and gold logo on Pitt's campus. Before leaving the Peterson Event Center, mention that you are making a huge shift from athletics to academics and encourage your family to ask any last questions on this topic. As you exit the Peterson Event Center, be sure to point out Salk Hall, named after Jonas Salk, which is located to the right with black windows and a tan outside. This is home to our School of Pharmacy and School of Dental Medicine, so be sure to include appropriate rankings and facts. Following that, point out Scaife Hall as you walk down DeSoto Street. There are several rankings that go along with the school that you should also mention, as well as the Falk Library. After talking about both Salk and Scaife Hall, an easy way to transition to talking about UPMC is explain how our School of Medicine is affiliated with UPMC and that students often find internships and do volunteer work there, as well as having numerous opportunities within the graduate level.
Mention that the 5 UPMC affiliated hospitals are located either on or close to our campus, and be sure to emphasize the great opportunities for volunteering, internships, careers, and research. Also convey that there are other UPMC hospitals within the Allegheny County area and all over the globe, such as an emergency medical system in Qatar. Be sure to know the UPMC facts and rankings as well, because these will support your argument that this is one of the best schools for students who are interested in the medical field.
An easy way to transition to talking about nursing is to say that if you were to lift up UPMC Presbyterian, you would be looking directly at Victoria Hall, home to the nursing school, and Lothrop Hall, another housing option for freshmen. Emphasize that our nursing school is ranked 5th in the nation and that our nursing students are able to start clinicals during their sophomore year since the curriculum is heavily structured. Also explain that Lothrop Hall is home to the nursing living learning community and explain what an LLC is if you have not already. Also mention some of the amenities found in Lothrop, such as sinks and the statistics that go along with the building. To end this section, you can ask if there are any questions about what you have already discussed. If you feel the need to, you can state that you are switching disciplines and are about to discuss engineering. Benham Hall is home to the Swanson School of Engineering, which has 10 disciplines of engineering. One way to remember the different disciplines is to look at the different colored banners lining O'Hara Street. Each represents a different discipline, for example, mechanical engineering. You will also want to be sure to elaborate on the engineering curriculum, mention the variety of facilities found in Benham, such as an Einstein Brothers Bagels, a computer lab and library, and that the building is newly renovated.
Mid-campus contains many of our academic buildings, and the majority of them are academic resources. Here it will be helpful to look around and use the visual cues that are available. On the right side of the street is Thackeray Hall. This building is home to the Arts and Sciences Advising Center, and here it could be helpful to explain the advising process, as well as stating that the Office of the Registrar and Math Department are located here. There is also the Learning, Research, and Development Center. Mention that this building contains numerous research labs and that this is where psychology students complete the research hours that are part of their curriculum. Another academic resource is the ARC, or the Academic Resource Center, and it is located in the Gardner Steele building. Here you will find study skills workshops as well as group and individual tutoring for any subject. The O'Hara Student Center also houses 2 of our other academic resources, the MAC and WAC. The MAC is the Math Assistance Center, and it will be helpful to explain that they offer help for all levels of math as well as the specifics about tutoring. The WAC, or Writing Assistance Center, should be explained in the same way.
The final academic building located in mid-campus is Chevron Science Center. It is located directly behind Thal Hall, which is an original building from the 1908 Acropolis Plan. Give some statistics about Chevron and discuss how it is home to the chemistry department and houses one of the most popular majors at Pitt. A good way to transition from Chevron to Soldiers and Sailors is to mention the beautiful view of it from the Chevron steps. Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Hall is a memorial museum that commemorates all major U.S. wars and conflicts. The museum itself is not university owned, however the underground parking garage is. As this is technically the last stop on your tour, finish with some facts about the building, such as parts of Silence of the Lambs were filmed inside. Finish your tour by telling your families why you chose Pitt. After that, ask for any final questions, then thank them for joining you and ask if they need directions or want to head back to Alumni Hall with you.